What is going on, guys? Good evening. It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame, Got Mortgages. We have got so much to talk about. We have a lot of different updates when we start looking at what is happening when it comes to the government, right? The government obviously just came out and they have officially shut down, really kind of throwing things into perspective because we were on such a positive pace when we got some updates on the JOLTS report, on ADP report, but then surely we could not get the infamous BLS report that we were looking for, right? Because the last 2 months of reports when it came to BLS came in low, which has been causing interest rates to drop at an all-time low for the last 3 years. Let's take a look right into it, right? On the private sector, again, when we talk about ADP, showed a drop of 32,000 jobs in September. Super big miss when they were expecting a $50,000 gain, right? So we're off by almost 82,000 jobs, right? And then once again, they actually revised their numbers down from 54,000 to a loss of 3,000. So again, clearly showing real signs that the employment market is actually not as strong as they claim that it is, right? A lot of job losses were obviously broad, right? A lot of small businesses cut 40,000 jobs. Medium-sized firms, again, lost about 20,000. You could see big impacts on education and health services and things like that, right? Again, clearly showing job growth slowing down. Private sector now posting losses in the last 4 months. Again, showing that despite those economic gains, we're still seeing those big losses when it comes to second quarter funding. Now, I spoke earlier when I first started this on government shutdowns. We're starting to see big changes on the government shutdowns. ADP, again, adding weight to this. BLS report, once again, clearly showing that we just don't know what it is, right? The delay is obviously still going to come in. Who knows? Is this going to last over a month? Is this going to last even less? Of course, we know that a lot of air traffic gets controlled off of this. People are eventually not going to want to work. They're going to take time off as they should, right? They can't really go on strike. I believe I was reading on air traffic control, but it could potentially impact a lot of traveling, right? Just slowly tick away before we know it into November. And of course, that's usually the busy season when it comes to traveling, people visiting one another. But as we continue seeing this also on the job opening side, the JOLTS report, job openings again edged up just slightly, 7.2 million. Again, kind of in expectations of what it was in July. We're still seeing, again, the openings peak over 12 million in 2022. Hiring rate at 3.2%, quit rate at 1.9%. Again, decade lows, meaning people are not hiring and people are also afraid of quitting their jobs because you truly don't know what is going to happen when we take a look at, obviously, the market. Taking, again, all that stuff into consideration, data once again suggests that the labor market is obviously losing steam. True number of job opportunities, of course, are, again, overstated, which, again, is clearly showing signs. That's why we've been pretty much seeing a pretty downtick. That's why the Fed cut last month, right? Showing that signs on the labor market is not as strong as they claim. Case-Shiller, so home price index, right? Gold standard for measuring inflation, or measuring home price, I should say. And again, clearly showed that home prices are still up 1.7%. and actually just slightly slower than when it was previously at 1.9. FHFA, Federal Housing Finance Agency, remember that doesn't include cash, right? That was up 2.3%. Pending home sales jumped up 4% in August, 3.8% year over year. Again, clearly showing signs on the rebounding side when it comes to contracts. What are we going to look for next week? We're going to get more updates from home price appreciation, but we just heard from we heard from the FHFA, and we heard obviously from the NAR. Now we're going to hear from ICE and Cotality on that, and then weekly jobless claims. Not too much data, but I think it's curious to see how we're going to get impacted from this government shutdown, and could there be any potential changes in the horizon. As always, if you guys have any questions, please make sure you guys visit our website, gotmortgages.com. Talk to you guys soon.